Alright, this is a silver Hanzo on Nepal. It's a loss. I believe that Dan told me he does not have surround sound headphones, so that's something I'm going to keep in mind during this.
It's kind of interesting. It's just a. You're gonna
Play right.
With every death.
Alright, so you have Ryan Zarya, which means you're going to be running Death Ball. You have a Mercy and a Zem, which means that you're going to have a bit low healing for this type of comp, and your DPS are fine. You're going to have an ult combo here, Grad Dragons. You're going to have, I guess you could do a Shadow Deadeye, and you're going to have defensive ult. Now with Death Ball, the name of the game is brawling, so you guys are going to have to, as a team, close the distance as fast as you can and all focus the same target. So we'll see how that goes.
Comes honor. With honor, redemption.
Alright, I gotta play more defensive.
Yeah, play that.
5, 4, 3, 2,
My ultimate is charged.
1. Round 1.
Hi.
Capture the objective.
Alright, I guess going high ground. Pop a Sonic. Do a Sonic. Be careful that Diva. She potentially could eat your Sonic. You get away with it this time. You have a Lucio. You have a Diva. You have another Hanzo. You have a Doomfist. Let's see if anything else pops up. You got a Reinhardt and what was that? Is that a Moira? Yeah, so Moira. So you're going as Ryan, Diva, Moira, Lucio, Hanzo, Doomfist. They're not running Death Ball, but they're gonna be playing like Death Ball. So it's gonna be a game of whoever can engage first. But for you, positioning wise, where you're at right now is a good place. You're gonna, against this kind of comp, you're gonna want to stay further back and put in as much spam damage as you can. Doomfist comes and knocks your team around a little bit. Good pick on the Doom.
Doom's reading.
Good pick on the Hanzo.
You guys lost your main healing.
Alright. So, what went wrong here? Back a little more. It started. Let's see. It started right here. So, right here. Actually, a little further back. Right here. This is where it starts to go bad. Alright, so the Doomfist just made all the space. Alright, and now Reinhardt engaged on your team. Okay? You are going to get the pick on the Doomfist. It's good. You're going to get the pick on the Hanzo. But where your rotation before you do that, I want to change. So, instead of jumping down here, stay right here where you're at. Stay right here because stay right here because you can duel the Hanzo, take the Hanzo off the high ground. That's going to be one of your number one priorities, making sure that you control the high ground and not the enemy Hanzo. But if you stay here, when the enemy team pushes on your Reinhardt here, you're going to be able to spam behind the Reinhardt shield, behind and above him. You're going to have an angle on them. You're going to have a flank on them. Shoot the Reinhardt back, shoot the Lucio, he's going to end up being around here, shoot the Diva. It's going to take a lot of the pressure off. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to make a difference here because Ryan walks in and kills your Moira and your McCree, and then Reinhardt dies seconds later. So, the other reason I want you to stay on high ground is because you die
Guys, you
here,
guys lost your main
right? Cause you die here because you really have nowhere else to go. If you stay on the high ground and you shoot it and you go, oh shit, this fight's over, then you can just go all the way back. All right, you're safe. You don't get picked. You don't beat the ult charge. You're ready for the next fight. So stay on that high ground there. It'll help out.
Guys, you guys lost your main healer. Keep running left, keep running left, keep running left, keep running left. Get on point. Get on point, get on point, get on point. No heals, that's why.
We lost main heals. That's
All
what
right.
happened.
So this fight, going in high ground. I like high ground. All right, so this fight's over. You're coming in. I don't necessarily have a problem with you coming in on high ground.
I don't know. As soon as both DPS.
It's- I don't think, even if you came in main, this fight was already still over. So, you're down, you Zen, you Ryan, these guys are going to follow very shortly after. So, I would just kind of wait around here.
That's not,
Tanks.
that's not the way that works.
Don't walk in.
Tanks can
So
do a
they
shit ton of
just
damage.
throw the
Yeah.
coalescence,
Grab regroup.
and you're about to get,
Yeah,
yep,
coalescence.
you're about to get destroyed by that thing. Alright, so this fight was lost before you got there. It happens. I want you. You can do a little poke damage. You just got to be safe about it. Stay where you are, right here. You know this fight's over. Nothing's gonna happen. But you can get some ult charge. You know, maybe get to like 75% on your dragons. You can get some poke damage, maybe even a pick. But stay on the high ground where you're at right now. That way, because like we said earlier, that way you can just retreat. Now, when you drop down and walk to point,
The way that works, but okay.
Can do
they
a shit
pop
ton of
all
damage.
these ults,
Yeah.
and it
I
looks
don't know.
like
That's a
you
miss.
kind of
Yeah,
panic.
regroup.
You see everybody coming. You run for the mega, but you're only down 20 health. So all the time you spend going to the mega, and you have to take this long path to get out, and you're gonna end up being in a close space with the Doomfist, right? Instead of going through there, you're gonna retreat the same place we were talking about. You're just gonna go up behind you, up the high ground, and out. And just reset, okay? Because you're gonna be able to get out before they can really catch up to you, and if they chase you all the way into your spawn, then if you know they can, hopefully your team can capitalize on that.
That's a miss. Grab regroup.
I got coalescence.
You're never gonna win this fight.
We got shattered. We need a group main.
So that's another. That's just a case of the fight was over. Don't push in. Don't get greedy.
Start over at the beginning.
You guys are coming up on a grab dragons. You start getting ready for that. Communicate with your Zarya.
Right. Let's
Alright,
go
you
in.
guys are reset.
See
She's good. Sonic gives you some info. Doom's just split your team. This fight's gonna go downhill. Yeah, this fight's over.
They used.
I'll tell you what happened. Not to. Okay, I'll tell you what happened here. So. Alright, so you come in here, you pop Sonic Arrow, boom, 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 boom. You see the Hanzos up there, you see the Rhines up here, but most importantly, you see this Doomfist, and he's coming in to smack somebody's booty, right? So, what I want you to do is immediately call, yo, Doom, 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 Doom. You know, Doom when you send Doom, kill Doom, kill Doom. Get your team to turn around and fight the Doom. Because what happens here, because he's you're the only one shooting at him, and what happens, because he's untested, he just split your team. He split you off from your team, but he's going to end up splitting the Moira off too because she pulls back here. And he gets to Zen. Zen's down. Moira's just retreated here. Now your Zarya, your Reinhardt, and God knows where your McCree is out. Where is your McCree? He's. I have no idea. I don't know where your McCree is, but he's just split your entire by himself. He's just split off your entire team. You guys are on this side. The tanks and the McCree are on that side, and they're fighting a they're fighting a 5v3. They're gonna lose that every time, especially without supports. So, I just call out the Doomfist there. Doom, 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 doom. Now, for this engagement, I'm not gonna bash you for not dodging this punch because he didn't charge it up really fast, and it's silver. But here, you see that shield? That's the biggest problem when it comes to dueling Doomfists. I would say even more so than his abilities, because you can dodge abilities, but when he lands them, he gets harder and harder to kill. So here, instead of standing your ground and fighting him, I want you to put distance between you and him, because he's gonna win a short range fight, but the further away you are, the better. Now, think about Doomfist's abilities and his mobility. He has a punch, you can go across the map. He has an E, you can kind of bang. He only has one ability that lets him get verticality, right? And that's his uppercut. And that's a cooldown. You have a wall climb. So whenever you want, you can wall climb. What I want you to do is this wall right behind you, turn around, run up that wall, and just shoot down for the Doomfist. If he wants to kill you now, if he wants to commit to you, he has to then commit his uppercut. And if he does commit his uppercut, then you can just, drop back down and play a little game of footsie, drop down, go up, bang, and hop around, and keep as much distance, and really, really, really capitalize on that high ground and punish Doomfist for not being able to punish Doomfist's verticality, or lack of it. Alright? So, yeah, capitalize high ground positioning. Because he's going to come in here again, and he gets your Moira. It's the same situation, alright? Had you jumped up on the high ground, you'd have been safe in the Lucio boop. You'd have been safe from the Doomfist punch, and then you could have just retreated back, because this fight is over. We killed Hanzo. There's your McCree. Found him. So, high ground. I want you to think about fighting at Hanzo's effective range. Let's look up some stats. Hanzo stats. Overwatch Gamepedia. Alright, so damage is 125 body shot. Check this. Where's the fall off? Does he have fall off? I don't think Hanzo has fall off. I'm not entirely sure on that. I don't play Hanzo at all. But you are going to thrive fighting as far away from the enemy as you can, right? So when your team's pushing in, you've got your Ryan shield, you Zarya, this frontline McCree. I want you to be a little ways back here, like somewhere over here, and you're just going to be pumping in damage. And if you can take high ground, I want you to be on high ground, pumping in damage. If the team's pushing in here, the enemy team's like right here. That's not very easy to see, and you can find like this high ground here that you can kind of safely go back in here. Be right here, shoot them in the back, right? So think about your angles and your positioning in the team fights.
We're down 3. You have no.
Then give me heal. Give me heal.
Don't be crazy. Don't be freaking.
That's not in team chat.
What's his
It's kind of
face?
pissing me off.
Mangachu's Hanzo flanking.
He's just
an
playing
enemy
his own
spawn.
game.
Yeah, he is.
I like this.
Yeah,
This is what we're talking about. Fighting as effective range. You're just pumping in free damage, right? You don't hit anything with the DM and the shield, but if you're in a downtime, this is what you should be doing. Just pumping in the damage.
Yep, grab dragons.
Doing work.
Alright, we're gonna have to go
He
in.
calls for grab dragons. So you're doing a bit of a flank right now. Grab dragons. Good dragons, good dragons. Ooh, that's
Whoops.
unlucky. That's really unlucky. Good flank. So, what you did here against this Doomfist is really good. So, what you did is if he punches, that's where he's going to go. So, what you did is you hopped over here. You played this corner right here. And if you get in a situation like this where Doom is close in the distance and there's not really nowhere you can escape, that's what you want to be doing, is playing the corners. But yeah, you're gonna get your booty clapped here. You do get him, which is nice. Hanzo. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And that's gonna be
Nope,
around.
that's point.
That's unfortunate. You got a 4K.
Oh my god.
So for that map, your positioning generally is like when you start the fight, you start in a good position. I want you to think about your positioning through the mid fight and the end fight. I want you to think about angles, you know, line of sight, and slight flank. Sorry, I don't want you to be jumping all the way around, hitting them back here. But if, well, that's not easy to see at all. But if your team's here and their team's here, and you can get, oh, that's not helpful. And you can get yourself, you know, here. That's enough of an angle to call it a flank, and that's going to be doing a lot of work. So, you know, they push in, you've got high ground here, bang, 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 you take the flank. Think about your positioning in the mid fight. Things like that.
Doesn't know how.
Switch the Mercy.
Alright.
Legit.
So, Diva, Moira, Ryan.
Switch the Mercy. Just pocket me.
He wants to pocket. Okay, I was about to say. That is the stupidest sentence you can ever hear in comp. Just pocket me. I hate it. And it's always a soldier. Alright, what do you end up with? So you got the Hanzo, Diva, Mercy, Ryan, soldiers, and you've lost a good bit of team utility of comp. It's still a decent comp, but it's not really focused anymore. But same thing, especially on this map, you've got.
Nightmare. There's
I'll
no point in
point it out-
playing.
I'll point it out
main tank.
when-
You don't need to. Just play heals. Or lazy booper if you want to go play heals.
I'll point it out when you walk up.
We just need one tank.
2, 1.
I'm not relying on this person anymore.
Toxic.
Capture the objective.
We're gonna fucking lose. We're doing
That is not a good attitude. Don't ever have that attitude in comp. You can go here. You've got this high ground, and you can shoot down on the point. You've got cover here. You've got cover here. You can drop down to Omega. You can come back to your team. That's one place. Where's the freaking play button? Right there.
Just try and keep as many people up as possible.
Okay, more keep your heals on.
You can play
tank and,
here,
Hanzo.
on this corner. You're too close right now. I don't think you're gonna get punished for it, but where the heck is your Ryan? I haven't seen your Ryan yet, actually. We haven't seen your Ryan, so
Okay,
I want
more
you to be
keep your heals
playing
on, the tank and,
behind your Ryan.
Hanzo.
Your Ryan's the front line. I don't have a problem with that. Storm arrows, pump it in the shield. Switch your, there's your Ryan. Okay, so see what this Hanzo's doing? This is what I was talking about. This Hanzo, your team is looking this way. This Hanzo is coming around to shoot at the back. Alright? So that's the kind of stuff I want you to be doing. You take the stool with this Hanzo. Okay, that's good. And then, depending how it goes, you can kind of shoot here. You can kind of go back. You can play here in the fight, play a little ways back from the Ryan, right? So position.
Hanzo.
Let's see what you do. Good. You take the Hanzo. You take the angle. Good, good, good. Doom. Nice shot.
The objective is now.
That Sonic isn't really necessary because your team knows where they are. And you're up to. You're up to it. Jesus Christ. Alright. Again, I'm not too worried about it because it doesn't really matter in the cooldown wise. But here, you get really greedy, right? Let's look at where your Reinhardt is. Look at where your team is. Oh my god. Alright, so your team went here. And you saw the Hanzo here. You have no idea the Reaper's coming here, but there's a Reaper here. You went here, you went for a flank to shoot at the Hanzo, but you don't have, but you go into their back line, right? While your team's here. They can't get to you because they have to go through all this. You got a Mercy and a Zen. You're not going to get the healing there. So instead of jumping over this way, go stand on the top of the stairs there. You can poke in damage. You can look down the stairs. You can shoot from the side if you really want to shoot from the side. But really, if I was you, I would just be standing here. You're standing at the top of the stairs, pumping in damage, and the team, and just yeah. So you die because you get a little greedy here. Yeah, so like look at what the Reaper sees. The Reaper sees this whole mess, and then he sees you all the way away from your team, right? So instead of being there, you could have been here, you could have been here. I would be here. Or even better, you could go up here. If you really want to shoot him in the back, then you just, you know, bang, 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 bang. Then you see all of this, right? Minus what's behind the pillar. That's actually probably the best place you could be, you know, because you can escape back to your heals here. So yeah, pick one of these locations. 1, 2, or 3. Don't get greedy.
Again.
He's listening to ults. Alright, what ults do you have? I haven't been keeping track of ults. I've been focused on the positioning. So you're coming up on 6 ults. You guys have control of point. Zen is dead.
See that which is unseen.
You kind of yeeted that storm arrow. Sorry, sonic arrow. Hang on to it. It's not the longest cooldown in the world, but it's nice to have it ready when you're ready to engage, when your team's ready to engage, or they need information to engage. I think you could hold on to it for a couple more seconds to give your team info over here on the left. Do like the Hanzo. Alright, good. Backing off. You're gonna go here. Betting $10, you're gonna go here. You might shoot at the Hanzo here, but I'm thinking you're probably gonna be looking this way. I want you to go up on the side ground, okay?
Cut off from you via dragons.
Take the Hanzo out. Alright.
This is my will. Heroes never die.
You don't need to get close to
Another
this.
main healer?
Oh my
Ana?
god. You don't need
Any
to.
more?
Oh, fucking weird. Alright. Weird yet.
Kill the Mahal.
Almost there. Alright, sweet. You don't need to jump
Cut
up
off
in
from
this
you
Diva's face,
via
right?
dragons.
She's not a hard hitbox to hit.
This.
Just stand right here and just bang, 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 bang. She demax, she pops over here, go over here a little bit, bang, dead. Easy. You don't need to be getting up in her face. You're not Doomfist.
Heroes never die.
Alright, let's look at where the team fight just went. So, your team has been fighting on the left side. Your team is here. They were trying to push this way. And they get wiped out by the Reaper. Let's see why.
Debuff point.
This is my will. Heroes never die.
Alright, so the Hanzo gets picked, sorry, the Reinhardt gets picked, and then Reaper just walks into your team.
Like, dude,
At this point, give up a little bit of space, you know. You can give up a little bit of space and try to get a pick, or you can die on point and get as much percentage as you can. But here, you can get out, so get out. Yep, good. Sorry,
I got 4
reset.
picks there, and I don't know.
Alright, Reaper got out.
Or just stay with me, I'm gonna get some picks.
Yeah, I'm coming.
So your Mercy and your Soldier just went
Oh, I'm low,
a
low,
big
low.
flank. They got the
Stay back, stay
Hanzo.
back, stay back. Help Mercy, help Mercy.
Where the heck is your Reinhardt? So your Reinhardt, I have no idea where it's going. You walk straight in. I have a little bit of a problem with that. This is hard because you really don't have a front line to play with. I would say maybe go halfway with the. You maybe could have gone halfway with the Soldier and the Mercy, and just kind of spammed from here a little bit, and then gone back. You could have gone up to high ground. This is just a really sloppy push. I probably would have done what you did, but yeah, so you kind of walk into main, Reaper's gonna get you. That's tricky. So Reaper came up for main, so you could have gone up to high ground, but honestly, where the heck is your
Yeah,
Reinhardt?
but now we
Just
they just won the match. Like, they
did he
basically
die?
just won.
Am I
There's
missing
legit.
this? Come on, where is that Reinhardt? Alright, yeah, so your Reinhardt was, yeah, so you were all the way up here, your Reinhardt was here, and that's backwards. So, be patient to push in. It's not the end of the world, you've got time to capture the point. So while your Rein's here, fighting this Reaper, I want you to be back here, poking in some damage, or you know, if Reaper's here. Pick an angle, be further back, give your Ryan some support. Your Soldier and your Mercy were kind of stupid, they got punished for it. Your Ryan might have survived.
Yeah, but we gotta wait for everyone in group.
Yeah, but now they just won the match. Like, they basically just won. There's legit.
So yeah, your teammates have given up.
I can't come.
It's unfortunate. Alright. Yeah, see, that's the basically the position I like. If we translate that over there to what just happened, that's what I wanted to see back there. That's where you should have been, and you probably would have gotten that Reaper earlier. Doing some fan damage. It's good damage. Shoot that Sonic at the pillar, I would say. You're probably gonna get a better radius. I'm gonna say no Chief on that Dragons, simply because you shot it from so far away, and the enemy's gonna be standing here, and they're gonna be seeing this freaking and they're just gonna walk out of the way. Get closer before you throw the Dragons.
How the fuck does that knock me off the map?
So like shoot here's a good spot to shoot from. You stand right here. You can shoot it up at an angle through there. You can stand here, blast a 2-point. Don't yeet it from across the map. Now they do have.
How the fuck
trans,
does
so
that
they're gonna
knock
survive
out?
that. This team fight is over.
That's it. GG.
You guys just lost to. You guys lost to the trans and the beat,
That's it. GG.
and you just got picked apart.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
There's really nothing else you can do here. It's over. All right, so let's talk. Oh, my alarm's going off.
Plus the line lose after one.
Go away. Alright, boom. So let's talk. I want you to work on positioning. And there's going to be a couple different things that I talk about when I say positioning. I want you, in every fight, to be asking yourself, either verbally or in your head, what distance am I comfortable at? You know, do I need to be? Actually, let's change the order. First off, I want you to be thinking about angles. All right. That's line of sight. That's, you know, flanks. I want you to think about that. Good thing for you to do, it behoove you to just go into make a custom game and just explore the map, and we can launch Overwatch. It's just explore the map and find new little places that you can peek out. Find out where all your health packs are. Find out all the little areas you can shoot from, that you can peek from, that give you good line of sight. I want you to think about distance. In a few of your duels, you jumped up into the enemy's face. I want you to work on keeping that distance as far as you can. So like right here when this happened with the Doomfist, that distance can either be lateral or it can be high ground. I want you to work on positioning with your team. Alright? So think about, where am I the most helpful? You know, when you're in the Rhine Zarya Deathball comp, you're going to be more helpful behind the Rhine shield, you know, a little ways back, probably where, you know, the Zen is going to be around thereabouts, or you're going to be helpful on the high ground on a bit of an angle. All right, so think about angles, line of sight, distance, I guess dueling distance, fighting distance. Don't be Doomfist, and think about your positioning with the rest of your team, okay? But yeah, so go custom, go settings, map, none, and then we want freaking control Nepal on, start. What map's gonna be?
Traveling to Nepal.
How perfect. So, you're just gonna hop in here, and you go.
With every death comes
And run around.
honor. With honor,
And figure out your angles. So maybe I go over here. From here, I can see from where my teammates come in, and just this spot right here, I can see all of this. I can be contesting point from here, throwing down arrows
by the dragon.
all of here. If I need to see a little further back, or I need to see a little bit more of the point, I can come here. and I'm going to be shooting down. Imagine that this window is you, a Hanzo, right? This is a much more difficult target to hit than freaking that doorknob, right? Because as a Hanzo, you can just step back. So it makes you a smaller target, and it gives you more view. That's why high ground is... No, Lord, I suck at Hanzo. That's why high ground is so strong. Because you get more angles, so you can shoot above the Rhine shield, and then you're a smaller target. So think about high ground more. Come over here. I want to shoot, behind. Your team and their team are just freaking duking it out, and they're not paying attention. Bang, bang, bah, 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 bah. Pumping damage, right? So just go around, explore the map. Find yourself some angles. This one I talked about. So when your Mercy and your soldier pushed up there, and then they were trying to run away, you possibly could have helped them retreat, helped them get out. What else we talked about here? So when you jumped in here and the Reaper got you, that's where the team fight was happening. So we said you could either be up there, and I would say be up there because you got cover. But you do have Mega here, actually. But you're still going to be able to pump in damage. That Hanzo, you're still going to be able to kill that Hanzo, but you're going to see that Reaper coming. Alright, you're going to see him coming a mile away, and you shoot him, and you see him coming, you're like, oh crap, I can't take him. Boom, retreat. Alright? So, wherever you are, you always want to have an escape plan. So, yeah. Positioning with your angles and line of sight, with your fighting distance, and with positioning with the team. Good luck.